petitions. Honorable Maki, you have a matter of urgent public importance? No? It's listed, okay. Honorable Sopo, I believe you have a matter of urgent public importance once you're done. Yeah, go ahead, Honorable Sopo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Pam Jimin Sopo. I represent the good people of Buruku Federal Constituency. And Mr. Speaker, I'm from Benue State. Mr. Speaker, I rise on Order 8, Rule 4, matters of urgent public importance, to present to this House the issue of the armed attack and assassination attempt on Governor Samuel Otom of Benue State and the worsening state of insecurity in Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Honorable JJ. Which one? Don't go yet. Those against any. Oh, actually, sorry, I wasn't supposed to put the question. Read your motion.
I remain Honorable Pam Jibin Sopo. I represent the good people of Buruku Federal Constituency. And Mr. Speaker, I am from Benue State. This matter I'm presenting this morning before the House is a matter that was co-sponsored. It's a motion that was co-sponsored with several other members from Benue State, and it relates to the armed attack and assassination attempt on Governor Samuel Otom of Benue State and the worsening state of insecurity in Nigeria. The House, concerned about the worsening spate of violent crimes and insecurity across the country, ranging from cultism, armed robbery, armed herdsmen attacks, armed bandit attacks, armed militia attacks, Boko Haram insurgency, and terrorism. Worried, armed herdsmen attacks, 20th March, armed bandit attacks, 2021, armed militia attacks, some Boko Haram insurgency, killer herdsmen, and terrorism. Ambushed, worried, armed herdsmen attacks, 20th March, armed bandit attacks, 2021, armed militia attacks, some Boko Haram insurgency, killer herdsmen, and terrorism. Ambushed, worried, armed herdsmen attacks, 20th armed bandit attacks, 2020, armed militia attacks, some Boko Haram insurgency, killer herdsmen, and terrorism. Ambushed, worried, armed herdsmen attacks, 20th armed bandit attacks, 2020, armed militia attacks, some Boko Haram insurgency, killer herdsmen, and terrorism, ambushed, worry, armed, some Boko Haram insurgency, killer herdsmen, Boko Haram insurgency, killer and Vanguard newspapers of 22nd March 2020. Boko Haram insurgency, killer and Vanguard newspapers identified as 2nd March Plenary national Boko Haram insurgency, killer and Vanguard newspapers identified as 2nd March Plenary national Boko Haram insurgency, killer and Vanguard attempt on the life newspaper identified as 2nd governor. Further disturbed Plenary national Boko Haram insurgency attributed to this group, who have publicly declared and Vanguard's attempt on the life newspaper identified as 2nd and mission Boko Haram insurgency to this group, and whoever is against and Vanguard's attempt on the life newspaper identified as 2nd and mission Boko Haram insurgency his time and whoever is against and Vanguard's attempt on the life newspaper identified as 2nd and mission Boko Haram insurgency of the president and whoever is against and Vanguard's attempt on the life newspaper identified as 2nd Boko Haram insurgency. The immediate deployment of FCID to Benue State for a thorough investigation of the incidents. Even more worried, the immediate deployment of FCID, to Benue State for a thorough investigation of the incidents. That the nation is drifting even more worried. Immediate deployment of FCID, invitation to Benue State for a thorough investigation of the incidents. That the nation is drifting even more worried. Immediate deployment of FCID, invitation to Benue State for a thorough investigation of the incidents. That the nation is drifting even more worried. Immediate deployment of FCID. Immediate deployment of FCID invitation to Plenary State for a thorough investigation of the incident. That the nation is drifting even more worried. Immediate deployment of FCID. Immediate deployment of FCID invitation to Plenary State for a thorough investigation of the incident. That the nation is drifting even more worried. Immediate deployment of FCID. Immediate deployment of FCID invitation to Plenary State for a thorough investigation of the incident. And the Fulani National Movement, FUNAM. Immediate deployment of FCID invitation to Benue State for a thorough investigation of the incident. To keep faith the Fulani National Movement, FUNAM. Immediate deployment of FCID invitation to Benue State for a thorough investigation of the incident. To keep faith the Fulani National Movement, FUNAM. Immediate deployment of FCID invitation to Benue State for a thorough investigation of the incident. To keep faith the Fulani National Movement, FUNAM. Immediate deployment of FCID invitation to Benue State for a thorough investigation of the incident. To keep faith the Fulani National Movement, FUNAM. Immediate deployment of FCID invitation to Benue State for a thorough investigation of the incident.
Attentively,
To keep faith the Fulani National Movement, FUNAM. Immediate deployment of FCID invitation to Benue State for a thorough investigation of the incident.
attentively,
To keep faith the Fulani National Movement, FUNAM. Immediate deployment of FCID invitation to Benue State for a thorough investigation of the incident.
attentively,
To keep faith the Fulani National Movement, FUNAM. Immediate deployment of FCID invitation to Benue State for a thorough investigation of the incident.
attentively,
To keep faith the Fulani National Movement, Benue State for a thorough investigation of the incident.
attentively,
To keep faith the Fulani National Movement, Benue State for a thorough investigation of the incident.
attentively,
To keep faith the Fulani National Movement, Benue State for a thorough investigation of the incident. To keep faith the Fulani National Movement, Benue State for a thorough investigation of the incident.
Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Ndudi Godwin Delumelu, and I represent the good people of Anoche Shimle Federal Constituency. I'm from Delta State. Mr. Speaker, Shakespeare said, when beggars die, there is no comment, but they heaven themselves the death of princes. Mr. Speaker, it may sound very funny, very interesting, that often and on we come here to talk about insecurity. It's something that is becoming very, very worrisome. Our people, when they had intention of voting for us into office, one of the reasons that they had in mind was the issue of dividend of democracy. And that in itself involves securing their lives and properties. And in a situation where our people voted us, and it's difficult for them to now even have a sigh of relief that having voted us into office, that they can now enjoy maximum peace, is a problem. It's a problem for an ordinary man on the street. It's a problem that today, if we are not very careful, we might even be importing smaller things like corn, cassava, yam. Why? Because our people at the grassroots can no longer go to their various farms. The farmlands have been completely taken over by the herdsmen, and it's difficult the other time, giving a directive that the armed forces should shoot at sight whoever that they found with AK-47. But I'm here to hear that anybody has been shot. And it's difficult the other time, giving a directive that the armed forces should shoot at sight all the security that he has, whoever that they found with AK-47. Mr. Speaker, it means that but I'm here to hear that anybody has been shot. And it's difficult the other time, giving a directive that the armed forces should shoot at sight all the security that he has, whoever that they found with AK-47. But I'm here to hear that anybody has been shot. And it's difficult the other time, giving a directive that the armed forces should shoot at sight all the security that he has, whoever that they found with AK-47. But I'm here to hear that anybody has been shot. And it's difficult the other time, giving a directive that the armed forces should shoot at sight all the security that he has, whoever that they found with AK-47. But I'm here to hear that anybody has been shot. And it's difficult the other time, giving a directive that the armed forces should shoot at sight all the security that he has, whoever that they found with AK-47. But I'm here to hear that anybody has been shot. And it's difficult the other time, giving a directive that the armed forces should shoot at sight all the security that he has, whoever that they found with AK-47. But I'm here to hear that anybody has been shot. And it's difficult the other time, giving a directive that the armed forces should shoot at sight all the security that he has, whoever that they found with AK-47. But I'm here to hear that anybody has been shot. And it's difficult the other time, giving a directive that the armed forces should shoot at sight all the security that he has, whoever that they found with AK-47. But I'm here to hear that anybody has been shot. And it's difficult the other time, giving a directive that the armed forces should shoot at sight all the security that he has, whoever that they found with AK-47. But I'm here to hear that anybody
of March 2021. These are the kind of issues that can be discussed under that committee. I salute that courage, I salute the initiative, and I think of March 2021. These are the kind of issues that can be discussed under that committee. I salute that courage, I salute the initiative, and I think of March 2021. These are the kind of issues that can be discussed under that committee. I salute that courage, I salute the...
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm Honorable Samson Oku, representing Obi Federal Constituency. I'm from Benue State. Mr. Speaker, this motion is a very, very important motion. A motion that has to do with the security of this country, a motion that has to do with the security of the chief security officer of the state, the person of Governor Samuel Otom. Mr. Speaker, if governor of a state, who is the chief security officer of the state, cannot move freely in this country, Mr. Speaker, I wonder what will happen to a common man in this country. Mr. Speaker, with the paraphernalia of office and the security attached to the governor, now the bandit, the herdsmen have all what is takes in terms of weapon to attack a governor of a state. Mr. Speaker, in your wisdom, you set up a ad hoc committee here to look into the purchase and review of the armament. Mr. Speaker, some people by privilege holding a position in the government agency refuse to come and give an accountable to what they have purchased so far. Mr. Speaker, it's a time for us to call ourselves and warn ourselves in this country that nobody is above this country. For whatever privileged position you hold, you must be accountable to the people. And as far as I am concerned, and I know that the Constitution has given the power to the Parliament to be the representative of the people. But so those who by privilege holding some position of authority to head some agencies that are directly responsible in purchase of this weapon, of this armament, refuse to come before the committee. Mr. Speaker, in your directive and your wisdom, by the parliamentary procedure, this committee, the committee of the House, has taken some decisions, which, in order to bring those people to book, because, Mr. Speaker, it's high time that we are serious in this House to make sure that there is no way some people will come and invade this country that have a weapon that is more than the security of this country. So, Mr. Speaker, this motion is timely, and I call all the entire House to support this motion. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. So we move on to the first order of the day, which is the first business is the presentation of 14 bills, and I invite the clerk to read their short titles.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, National Ginger Development Commission Establishment Bill 2021, first reading. Facility Management Agency of Nigeria Establishment ETC Bill 2021, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 Alteration Bill 2021, first reading. Notaries Public Act Amendment Bill 2021, first reading. Minimum Standards of Healthcare Facilities Bill 2021, first reading. National Institute of Construction Technology and Management Act Amendment Bill 2021, first reading. Federal Medical Center, Hong Adam. Amendment Bill 2021, first reading. Cabinet Composition Bill 2021, first reading.
Honorable Koko and Honorable Adebanjo, please approach the chair.
Federal University of Land Resources Technology, Furola, Imo State, Establishment Bill, first reading. Agricultural Products Marketing Board Establishment Bill 2021, first reading. Federal College of Agriculture, Gedam, Yobe State Establishment Bill 2021, first reading.
Second business of the day is presentation of 5 reports of the Committee on Health Institutions, standing in the name of Honorable Pascal Obi. Honorable Obi is invited to present his reports.
Dr. Pascal Chigozie Obi. I think this one is on that. Mine is okay. Sorry. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm Honorable Dr. Pascal Chigozie Obi. I represent the very good and amiable people of Idata North, Idata South Federal Constituency. I'm from Imo State. Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, I rise to seek the leave of this House about 5 number of bills that were referred to the Committee on Health Institutions. With the approval of Mr. Speaker, I move as follows. The first bill is that the House do receive the report of the Committee on Health Institutions on a bill for an act to establish the Federal Medical Center Iboho in Oyo State and for related matters. The second one is that the House do receive the report of the Committee on Health Institutions on a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of Federal Medical Center, WASE, in Plateau State and for related matters. The third one is that the House do receive the report of the Committee on Health Institutions on a bill for an act to establish Nigerian Health Infrastructure Development Bank to enhance and promote the health and well-being of Nigerians of all walks of life, to boost local health care capacity and for related matters. And that the House also do receive the report of the Committee on Health Institutions on a bill for an act to establish the Federal University of Medicine and Health Sciences, BIDA, in Niger State, and for the purpose of providing qualitative education in medicine and health sciences, and for related matters. And the fifth one is that the House do receive the report of the Committee on Health Institutions on a bill for an act to amend the Orthopedic Hospitals Management Act, CAP 010, Laws of Federation of Nigeria, 2004, to provide for the establishment of orthopedic hospital in Jos, Plateau State, and for related matters. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Honorable Ifeanyi, this second.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Honorable Ifeanyi Chudimoma, and I speak for the people of Ihiala Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I rise to second the motion on the presentation of reports of the Committee on Health Institutions, moved by Honorable Pascal Obi. I so second. Thank you.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. May lay your report, Honorable Pascal. Third business of the day is presentation of 5 reports of the Committee on Tertiary Education and Services, standing in the name of Honorable Aminu Suleiman. Honorable Suleiman is invited to present the report.
Speaker, honorable colleagues, I am from Kano State, and my name is Comrade Aminu Suleiman. I represent Pagi Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am of the APC. Honorable colleagues, I stand to present the underlisted reference to our committee, and I move as follows. That the House do receive the report of the Committee on Tertiary Education and Services on a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of Federal University of Technology, Asaba, Delta State, and for the promotion and development of technical education in Nigeria, and make comprehensive provision for its due management and administration, and for related matters, HB 721. That the committee, and that the House do receive the report of the Committee on Tertiary Education and Services on the need for intervention in the conflict between the management of Federal Polytechnic Bidda and the Academic Staff Union of the Polytechnic Bidda, HR 198. 3. That the House do receive the report of the Committee on Tertiary Education and Services on the need to stop post-JAM UTME examination in Nigerian higher institutions, HR 151. 4. That the House do receive the report of the Committee on Tertiary Education and Services on call on the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board to review the 2020 timeline for the compulsory use of National Identification Number and to register for 2020 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, HR 176. Lastly, that the House do receive the report of the Committee on Tertiary Education and Services on the increase in fees charged by University of Maiduguri, HR 153. I collectively and respectively move for the adoption of this report. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Emeka.
Member representing Ayaz is the Federal Constituency. I'm from Imo State. I rise to second the consolidation of these reports by my honorable colleagues. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The nays have it. Or the ayes have it. Honorable Suleiman, lay your report. First order of the day is consideration of two bills. Honorable members may wish to know that the bills are of the same subject matter. And I invite the Chairman, Committee on Rules and Business, to move that the bills be consolidated. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I am Abubakar Samfulata. I represent Berniwa Krikasama Kuri Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, I move for the consideration of these two bills as follows. A bill for an act to amend the National Directorate of Employment Act, Chapter N28, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, to review the objectives of the Directorate, to review the composition of the board, and enhance the funding regime of the Directorate for better access to credit for youth self-employment, and change the short title of the Act to National Agency for Job Creation and Human Capital Development, and for related matters, HB 709. B, a bill for an act to amend the National Directorate of Employment Act, Chapter N28, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, and for related matters, HB 1049. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Francis Charles, second.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, my name is Francis Charles Udiyop. I represent the Koravas in Barani, Tinubu, and from Akwa Ibom State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the motion that be consolidated. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Business, please schedule the date for commencement of debate. The second order of the day is the third reading of a bill for an act to establish the Institute of Mortgage Brokers and Lenders of Nigeria to regulate the activities and ensure professionalism in the system and for related matters. Honorable members will recall that the House adopted the report of the Committee of the Whole on the bill on Wednesday, 10th March 2021. I therefore call on the Leader of the House to move that the bill be now read the third time. The House Leader.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members. Dodogwa is my name. Mr. Speaker, I represent the people of Dogwa, Sudunwada Federal Constituency. Honorable members, I'm from Kano State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that a bill for an act to establish the Institute of Mortgage Brokers and Lenders of Nigeria to regulate the activities and ensure professionalism in the system and for related matters 2021 HB 88 be read the third time. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I so move.
Thank you. Honorable Koko.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Honorable Sheo Koko from Kebbi State. I represent the good people of Koko, Besi, and Mahima. I rise to second the motion heavily moved by the Leader of the House. I so second, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. And I invite the clerk to read the long title.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to establish the Institute of Mortgage Brokers and Lenders of Nigeria to regulate the activities and ensure professionalism in the system and for related matters. Third reading.
Bill read third time and passed. Third order of the day is the third reading of a bill for an act to establish the National Blood Service Commission to coordinate, regulate, and ensure the provision of quality blood and blood products and for related matters. Honorable members will recall that the House adopted the report of the Committee of the Whole on the bill on Wednesday, 10th March 2021, and therefore call on the Leader of the House to move that the bill be now read the third time.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members. Once again, Ado Dogwa is my name. Mr. Speaker, I represent the good people of Tudunwada Dogwa Federal Constituency from Kano State. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I rise to move that a bill for an act to establish the National Blood Service Commission to coordinate, regulate, and ensure the provision of quality blood and blood products and for related matters HB 181 be read the third time. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I so move.
Honorable Shatima.
Yes, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable colleagues, I remain Lawan Shatima Ali, representing Bursarigere in Sarikere constituency from United State. I rise to second the motion ably moved by the Leader of the House. So second, sir.
Honorable colleagues, the question is that the bill be now read a third time. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Clerk, long title, please.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to establish the National Blood Service Commission to coordinate, regulate, and ensure the provision of quality blood and blood products and for related matters. Third reading.
Bill read third time and passed. Leader, you are busy today. This item is yours. The fourth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to establish federal government, Federal College of Education, Tudunwada, Dankadai, and for the related matters standing in the name of Honorable Alhassan Ado Dogwa. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, October 20th, 2020, and I invite Honorable Dogwa to move that the bill be now read a second time.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. And I'm glad, Mr. Speaker, that you observe that I've been a bit busy. And I believe you will help me shorten the next subsequent schedules.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable members. Alhassan Ado Dogwa is my name. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I represent the people of Dogwa, Tudunwada Federal Constituency from Kano State. Mr. Speaker, I rise respectfully to move that a bill for an act to establish Federal College of Education Tudunwada Dankade and for related matters, HB 1092, be read the second time. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I respectfully move. Thank you.
Honorable Kabiru Idris.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My honorable colleagues.
Yes.
My name is Honorable Kabir Idris, member representing Kura, Madobi, Garumalang, Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Kano State. I rise to support this very important motion, bill, ably presented by the leader of the House. I so support, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. Who represents Tudunwada? Huh? Oh, it's the leader's constituency. Is there anybody that wants to speak against? You want to speak against the leader's bill? Okay. All right. So those in support. Leader, do you have any? Leader, do you have any federal government college in Tudunwada? You don't have any? Okay. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to establish Federal College of Education, Tudunwada Dankadai, and for related matters. Second reading.
Bill referred to the Committee on Tertiary Education and Services. Chairman, please list for next year. The fifth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to amend the Tertiary Education Trust Fund Act 2011 to expressly provide that colleges of agriculture shall benefit from the fund, provide for additional conditions for accessing funds for capital projects by beneficiary institutions, to encourage the beneficiary institutions to embark on capital projects instead of relying solely on funds for capital developments, and provide for inclusion of academic staff of research institutions, research institutes, and colleges of agriculture, respectively, as beneficiaries of research grants, scholarships, and other interventionist funding under the Tertiary Education Trust Fund. And for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Mohammed Tahir Mungunu, Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, Honorable Usman Abdullahi, honorable members will recall that the bills were consolidated on Wednesday, 16th December 2021, and I invite Honorable Abdullahi to move, Honorable Mungunu to move that the bill will be read a second time. Oh, Honorable Mungunu is not here. Honorable Abdullahi Usman, can you please move that this bill be read a second time?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Highly respected colleagues. Usman Abdullah is my name. I speak for the very good people of Lavun, Mokwa, and the Chief Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Niger State. I rise to move a motion on the bill that seeks amendment on Tertiary Education Trust Fund Act 2011 to expressly provide that College of Agriculture shall benefit from funds provided for additional condition to access funds for capital projects by beneficiary institution to encourage the beneficiary institution to embark on capital projects instead of relying on solely on funds for capital development. Provide for inclusion for academic staff of research institution, College of Agriculture especially, as beneficiary of research grants, scholarship, and other interventional funding under the Tertiary Education Trust Fund and for related matters. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I so move.
Honorable Luke.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Luke is my name. I represent the people of Etina and Nsurubi on Federal Constituency of Akwa Ibom State. I rise to second that motion, sir.
Okay, let's just put the question. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Long title.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to amend the Tertiary Education Trust Fund Act 2011 to expressly provide that colleges of agriculture shall benefit from the fund, provide for additional conditions for accessing funds for capital projects by beneficiary institutions, to encourage the beneficiary institutions to embark on capital projects instead of relying solely on funds for capital developments, and provide for inclusion of academic staff of research institutions, research institutes, and colleges of agriculture, respectively, as beneficiaries of research grants, scholarship, and other interventionist funding under the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, and for related matters. Second reading.
Bill referred to the Committee on Tertiary Education and Services. Sixth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to repeal the Advertising Practitioners Registration Act, Cap A7, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the Advertising Practitioners Registration Licensing Bill for establishment of a Council for Advertising Practitioners as the apex regulatory authority for the Nigerian advertising profession and practice, and ensure smooth operation of the Council, and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Abdul Razak Saad Namdas and Honorable Adeyemi Akim Adeni. Honorable members will recall that the bills were consolidated on Tuesday, 2nd March 2021, and I invite Honorable Namdas to move that the bill be now read a second time.
Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Abdurazak Saad Namdas. I represent the good people of Kenya, Jada, Tongoma, Ibadan. I am from Adamawa State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move for the second reading of the bill for an act to repeal the Advertising Practitioners Act, Cap A7, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the Advertising Practitioners Bill for establishment of a Council for Advertising Practitioners as the apex regulatory authority for the Nigerian advertising profession and practice, and ensure smooth operations of the Council and for related matters. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Adeyemi here.
Mr. Speaker, sir, my name is Honorable Akim Adeni Adeyemi. I represent the good people of Afidjo, Atiba, Oyo East, Oyo West. I'm from Oyo State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion for the bill ably moved by Honorable Abdurazak Namdas to pass second reading. I so move, sir.
Okay, I'm not sure we need any debate on this. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Clerk.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to repeal the Advertising Practitioners Registration (ETC) Act, Cap A7, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the Advertising Practitioners Registration Licensing (ETC) Bill for establishment of a Council for Advertising Practitioners
as the apex regulatory authority for the Nigerian advertising profession and practice and ensure smooth operations of the council and for related matters. Second reading.
The bill is referred to the Committee on Commerce.
Honorable member, you are taking the time of
Thank you, Chief Whip. Seventh order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to establish the Federal Medical Center, Ankpa, in Kogi State. And for related matters, stand in the name of Honorable Abdullah Ibrahim Ali. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 29 September 2020, and I invite Honorable Ali to move that the bill be read a second time.
Distinguished honorable colleagues, I am Honorable Abdullah Ibrahim Alims. I represent the good people of Ankpa, Omala, Lamoro Federal Constituency. I am from Kogi State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move for the bill to provide the legal framework to establish the Federal Medical Center, Ankpa, in Kogi State, be read second time.
Honorable Safana. Honorable Safana, please second.
I represent Savannah but Arinabu Federal Constituency. I rise to second the motion ably moved by my colleague. I so second.
This is for a medical center in Kogi State. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Okay. Honorable Abejide and Honorable Faleke, it appears you don't want the medical center. I didn't hear your voice. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Honorable Faleke, what's your position on this bill? Honorable Faleke, what's your position on the bill? I want to hear your position. You don't know the bill? Somebody show him the bill, please. This is a bill. I have not hit the gavel, so don't worry. This is to establish the Federal Medical Center, Ankpa, Kogi State. Are you in support or against? Ah, God, very good. The ayes have it. The bill, clerk, wrong title.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to establish Federal Medical Center, Ankpa, Kogi State, and for related matters. Second reading.
Bill referred to the Committee on Health Institutions. Eighth order of the day is motion on recession of Committee of National Innovation Agency, motion of rescission of Committee of National Innovation Agency Establishment Bill, HB 872, and Nuclear Safety and Radiation Protection Act, Repeal and Enactment Bill, HB 586, in the name of Honorable Abubakar Hassan Fulata. Honorable Fulata is invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. I'm Abubakar Hassan Fulata. I represent Plenary, Krika Sama, Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, decision of the Committee of National Innovation Agency Establishment Bill HB 872 and Nuclear Safety and Radiation Protection Act Repeal and Enactment Bill HB 586. House notes that a bill for an act to provide for establishment and management of National Innovation Agency and a bill for an act to repeal the Nuclear Safety and Radiation Protection Act and establish the Nigerian Nuclear Regulatory Authority and read a second time on 21st and 23rd July 2020 respectively, and committed to the Committee on Science and Technology. Also note that since the committal, some new committees have been created, among which is the Committee on Science Research Institutions, which was created from the Committee on Science and Technology. Further note that the mandate and objectives of National Innovation Agency Establishment Bill fall within the jurisdiction of existing agencies under the Committee on Science Research Institutions. Aware that the Nigerian Nuclear Regulatory Authority is a parastatal under the Federal Ministry of Petroleum Resources and therefore falls under the jurisdiction of Committee on Petroleum Resources upstream. Cognizant that the committal of the bill for establishment and management of the National Innovation Agency to the Committee on Science and Technology can no longer be sustained as the agency is under the newly created Committee on Science Research Institutions, and then an error in committing the bill on Nigerian Nuclear Regulatory Authority also to the committee rather than that of Petroleum Resources upstream, and therefore the need to commit the bills to the appropriate committees. Resolved to rescind its decision of July 21st and 23rd, 2020, committing a bill to provide for the establishment and management of the National Innovation Agency and a bill to repeal the Nuclear Safety and Radiation Protection Act and establish the Nigerian Nuclear Regulatory Authority to the Committee on Science and Technology, and commit 1. The National Innovation Agency Establishment Bill HB 872/2020 to the Committee on Science Research Institutions, and 2. The Nuclear Safety Radiation Protection Act Repeal and Enactment Bill HB 586/2019 to the Committee on Petroleum Resources upstream. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Rotimi Aguse, have you finished your job? Huh? Sorry? I can't hear you. Where are you going? Going for committee? No, we need you to keep the house in order. Please, can you come back and take your seat? Please, the house has been in order. I think you are doing a good job. Any seconder? Chief Whip, please second. Acting Chief Whip.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The House, my colleagues. Mr. Speaker, I was about going out when you called me back to come and second this important motion. So I rise to second the motion as moved by my colleague. Thank you. I so second.
Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. Ninth order of the day is a motion to investigate the non-release of retention funds by federal ministries, departments, and agencies standing in the name of Honorable Abubakar Maki Yeleman. Honorable Yeleman is invited to move the motion.
Chairman, loans. Nobody is saying the speaker now. We are busy.
You can see that this acting chief should never be given any small power. Just small, you should not give him. Please go ahead, Honorable Maki.
Chairman, Rules and Business.
Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, I am Abubakar Maki Eldeman. I'm from Jigawa State. I represent Madam Muluri Kaugama Federal Constituency. I stand to move a motion to investigate non-release of retention funds by federal ministry, department, and agencies. The House notes that in the last 10 years, ministries, departments, and agencies have held onto retention funds running into billions of naira, meant for contractors, despite issuing certificate of completion, taking over the project, and the expiration of the mandatory defect liability period as prescribed by law. The House also notes that the practice is inimical to the growth of small and medium-scale enterprises, as it denies contractors the needed capital to stay afloat, while part of those funds form part of the 1.2 trillion the Fiscal Responsibility Commission accused about 122 MDAs of failure to remit in 2020 Appropriation Act. The House aware that the global best practice in retention fund is to release half of the fund after the issuance of the certificate of completion, while the balance is released upon the attainment of the defect liability period, which is usually 12 months after completion and handover of the project. The House observes that the withheld funds are never captured by MDS as generated revenue, accounted for, or appropriated in the subsequent budget, while beneficiaries are made to go cap in hand, begging and lobbying for the release of the fund, which rightfully belong to them. The House also observed that with the harsh economic climate in the country, low profit margin, runaway inflation, high lending rate, and difficulty in accessing funds by MSMEs, the 5 to 10% retention fee obtainable constitute a significant portion of the contractor's profit, especially a payment schedule is skewed in favor of the MDAs. Concerned that the action of the MDAs amount to gross infraction of Section 37, subsection 1 and 4 of the Public Procurement Act 2007, and its overall objective of harmonizing existing government policies of practice to engender probity, accountability, and transparency in the procurement process. Resolved, the House will set up an ad hoc committee to investigate the failure of ministries, departments, and agencies to release retention funds and report back within 1 month and a half, that is 6 weeks. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Leke Abejide is my name. I represent the good people of Yagba constituency. I'm from Kogi State. I rise to second the motion as moved by Honorable Maki Yeleman. I so second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, straightforward, retention of funds. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. 10th order of the day is a motion on need to intervene in the lingering outage in Lere local government area of Kaduna State. Signed in the name of Honorable Suleiman Aliu Lere. Honorable Lere is invited to move the motion. Honorable Lere.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, my distinguished honorable colleagues. My name is Engineer Suleiman Aliu Lere. I represent the good people of Lere Federal Constituency of Kaduna State. I rise to move this very important motion on the need to intervene in the lingering outage in Lere local government area, which led to total blackout for more than 6 months. The House notes that sequel to the Electrical Power Reform Act, the National Electric Power Policy was promulgated with the objective of establishing an efficient electricity market in Nigeria. Also note that the provision of electricity to residents in developing countries is an incentive for improved economic growth and outages. Aware also that the reform overhauled the industry, which was characterized by lack of maintenance of power infrastructure, outdated power plants, low revenues, high operational costs, high revenue leakages, power thefts, and non-cost reflective tariffs. Further aware, Mr. Speaker, that the country still faces a serious energy crisis due to shortfall in electricity generation from domestic plants, declining productivity, and failure to meet the current electricity demand in Nigeria, that the lingering cross-border power supply/revenue remittance dispute between Kaduna Electricity Distribution Company, KEDCO, and JOS Electricity Distribution Company, JEDC, to the energy supplied by JOS Electricity Distribution Company to Lere local government area of Kaduna State within the administrative jurisdiction of the Kaduna Electricity Distribution Company, KEDCO, has led to the disconnection of supply to about 28 communities by JEDC for more than 6 months now. Further observes that Lere local government, comprising Abadawa, Garu, Erkaswa, Lazuru, Raminkura, Gurakahugu, Lere Sawambiri, Alaji, Kairda, and Saminaka, the administrative capital and commercial hub of the area, with many towns and villages, are connected to the national grid. Concerned that the reason for the power cut was the failure of the Kaduna Electricity Distribution Company to remit an unsettled fund to the tune of about 2.8 billion, only to JOS Electricity Distribution Company, being the outstanding cost of energy supplied particularly to Saminaka and environs in Lere local government area over some time. Cognizance of the standard practice in electricity supply all over the world, which is negotiated.
Is Honorable Kabiru Idris here? Still here. Please approach the chair.
Cognizance of the standard practice in electricity supply contract, which is negotiated on an individual basis, not based on the whole community. Resolves, 1, to urge the JOS Electricity Distribution Company, JEDC, to immediately reconnect the feeders and restore supply to the affected communities. 2, mandate the Committee on Power to A, interface with the management of Kaduna Electricity Distribution Company, KEDCO, and JOS Electricity Distribution Company, JEDC, to ascertain the reason for the power cut to the consumers in Lere local government from the national grid without any notice. B, investigate similar instances of unnecessary deprivation by electricity to communities by electricity distribution companies on account of internal trade dispute among the discos and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative action. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Okay, this is clearly an infrastructure-related motion, so I'll just put the question. We don't have a seconder yet. Honorable Shehu Balarabe.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Shehu Balarabe is my name. I represent Buruningwari Giwa Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I'm from Kaduna State. I rise to scorn the motion heavily moved by my good friend and colleague, Engineer Lere. I so second. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker. Question. Kabir. Kabir Idris. Divided attention. Oh, the speaker invited him.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. 11th order of the day is a motion on need to complete the abandoned youth center project at Ajara, Toriko, Badagry, Federal Constituency, Lagos State. Stand in the name of Honorable Babatunde Umpe. Honorable Umpe is invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Babatunde Humpe. I represent all the people of Badagry Federal Constituency. I'm from Lagos State. Sir, this motion is seeking for an urgent need to complete the abandoned youth center project at Ajara Toriko, Badagry Federal Constituency of Lagos State. The House should please note that the Badagry Youth Center project started as a...
Honorable Ibrahim Hamza, is he here? Please approach the chair.
The House should please note that the Badagry Youth Center project started as an entrepreneur and skill development program for the young aspiring entrepreneurs with leadership mindset. Also note that efforts being made by the present government to address the issue of abandoned projects across the country, but dismayed that the Badagry Youth Center project has remained abandoned since the year 2012, despite the amount appropriated for its construction in the year 2011
2012, concerned that the abandonment of Badagry Youth Center project by successive governments poses serious threat to security, and it also promotes many crimes in Badagry Axis as a result of many unemployed youth who will have been engaged and make good use of the center to make ends meet. Also concerned that the large hectares of land released by the host community for the project are being encroached into by illegal and unauthorized occupants as a result of the abandonment of the project. Mr. Speaker and my highly respected colleagues resolve to urge the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development to look for money this year or make provision in the year 2022 budget estimate for completion of the project. 2, mandate the Committee on Youth Development to ensure compliance and report back within 2 weeks for further legislative action. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, who's
Mr. Speaker. To second.
Yes. Is that Akin Alabi?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Akin Alabi. I represent the good people of Egbeda on our federal constituency. I rise to second the motion ably moved by Honorable Babatunde Humbe. I so second, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Okay, so those in support of this infrastructure motion, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Motion on pollution in the environment and farmlands in the Niger Delta region that destroys sources of livelihood, standing in the name of Honorable Henry Nwauba and 14 other members. Honorable Nwauba is invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I speak for the enterprising people of Mbitoli Kedru Federal Constituency. My dear colleagues, I'm from Imo State. I rise to move a motion on the pollution in the environment and farmlands in the Niger Delta region, destroying sources of livelihood. I so move. The House notes that the high level of environmental pollution caused by oil and gas exploration and production activities in the Niger Delta region, as well as environmental degradation due to poor production practices and inadequate maintenance of pipelines and oil infrastructure. Also notes that there were 2 separate oil spills from Okordia Rumuekpe pipeline and the flow station at the John Crana 4, known as Adibawa Flow Station in Arama community of Bayelsa State, owing to a long usage of oil pipelines since 1969, operated by Shell SPDC, and the Ogada Brass Pipeline, operated by Ajib Naok, both of which occurred in 2020. Further notes the tension associated with lack of employment, scarcity of natural resources, pollution of land, rivers, and forests, as well as the associated poverty caused by the activities of Shell Development Company of Nigeria Limited, SPDC, in Bidere, Ogada Brass, Okodia Rumekwe, and other communities in Ogoni land of River State and Bayelsa states. Concerned that both Shell Petroleum Company, SPDC, and the Nigeria Ajib Oil Company, NAOC, have failed to clean up affected areas and compensate the affected families, neither have they repaired damages caused by fire outbreaks arising from the spills dispersed by flood, which destroyed other sources of livelihood in the region. Also concerned that the nonchalant attitude of these companies have brought untold hardship on the people of these communities who rely on farm produce and fishing for survival. Observes that the communities are overstressed by the conflicting involvement of international oil companies and their operating agents in Ogoni land over the years in the extraction of oil and gas, which has resulted in overlapping damage to the environment, coupled with a growing level of agitation, unemployment, and poor infrastructural development in the communities. Further observes that considering Section 20 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended, which states thus, the state shall protect and improve the environment and safeguard the water, air, land, forest, and wildlife of Nigerians. The National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency, NOSDRA, can investigate and sanction facility owners for gross violation of federal environmental laws. Determined to arrest the unfortunate incidents from reoccurring and further degenerate into hostilities by the host communities, the House resolves to 1. Urge the federal government through the Department of Petroleum Resources, DPR, and the National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency, NOSDRA, to sanction Shell Petroleum Development Company of Nigeria Limited, SPDC, and the Nigerian Ajib Oil Company, NAOC, for gross violation of environmental laws. 2. Also urge the Department of Petroleum Resources, DPR, Shell Petroleum Development Company, and Nigerian Ajib Oil Company to comply strictly with the NOSDRA Act. And 3. Mandate the Committee on Host Communities to liaise with Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency, NOSDRA, Department of Petroleum Resources, DPR, Shell Development Company of Nigeria Limited, SPDC, and carry out effective inspection and comprehensive assessment of Mubor, Kinambe, Vuruvulu, and Kiegoro creeks in Bidere and other impacted areas in Gokana local government area of Ogoni land, including other host communities in the Niger Delta region, with a view to ensuring strict compliance with the NOSDRA Act, as well as the environmental guidelines and standards for the petroleum industry in Nigeria, EGASPIN. I so move. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Mauba. Honorable Second, Honorable Babao.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. Ahmed Jaha Babao is my name. I represent Chibok, Dambua, and Goza Federal Constituency. I rise to second a motion ably moved by a ranking member, Honorable Harry Mwauba. I so second. Thank you.
Okay, amendment. Who's amending? Put on your mic. What's your amendment? Honorable Balogu,
Yes, sir. Okay.
what's your amendment?
Yeah. Mr. Speaker, honorable members. Yeah, my amendment is on the third item. The House resolve to mandate the Committee on Environment to liaise with the oil, with NOSDRA, DPR, Shell, Ajib, and all other agencies. The first line should go to House mandate the Committee on Environment, not on host committee as is stated, because this is purely an environmental matter. Oh, maybe the two, but the Environment Committee is the key committee in the issue we are discussing.
Any seconder? Honorable Ryan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Lawrence Babatunde Ayeni. I represent the good people of Ilesha West, Ilesha East, Atakunosa West, Atakunosa East, Osun State. I stand to second the motion moved by Honorable Balogun.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The amendment is that based on the body and the text of the motion, that it should be referred, bottom line, referred to Committee on Environment, not Committee on Host Community. So we'll put the question again. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The nays have it. Honorable Elumelu, your amendment. I think there's another amendment. I think I like Honorable Elumelu's amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name remains Honorable Godwin Elumelu, and I represent the good people of Anocho Federal Constituency. I'm from Delta State. My amendment is to the effect that you mandate House Committee on Environment and Host Communities to liaise as per what has been included in this item 3. That is my amendment. The two committees should do the job.
Okay, to me that's a very reasonable amendment because it touches on both committees and they should handle it jointly. Okay. Deputy Petroleum. Go ahead.
Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, I'm Honorable Priye Oseki, representing Southern Niger Federal Constituency. I'm from Bayelsa State. I rise to second the motion, the amendment as moved by the minority leader. I so second.
Those committees, I can see the chairman here. We have to be very, your committee was created out of the environment, and it seems like everything to do with the environment you want to take over. So let us be very sensitive. Let us be very, very sensitive to this. You want to leave the Committee on Environment with the shell. So let's try and work together. We've just resolved one last week, which they conceded to you. So those in favor, they say aye. The ayes have it. So the matter, those in favor of the motion as amended, please say aye. Ayes have it. Matter referred to the Joint Committee on Environment and Host Community. The Leader of the House, please adjourn this House till tomorrow.
Mr. Speaker.
Oh, before the adjournment, please, the Deputy Chairmanship of the Anti-Corruption Agency or Committee in the House has been vacant for some time, which was deputized by Honorable Fatu. The new Deputy Chairman is Honorable Bagos from Plateau State.
Honorable Bagos, congratulations.
Honorable Bagos actually has 11 years experience working with ICPC. Correct, Honorable Bagos? You worked with ICPC for how long? EFCC and ICPC for many years. Okay.
I'm sure those years were the PDP years now. Has he worked with the ICPC during this regime? Have you worked with the ICPC during this regime?
Leader, must everything be partisan or political? Yeah? Okay. So, adjournment.
Thank you, sir. Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members. I rise as directed by the Speaker of the 9th House of Representatives, Right Honorable Femi Bajabiamila, to move that this House do adjourn till tomorrow, 11 o'clock, prompt. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I so move. Thank you.
The Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Dudi Godwin Elmelu, and I represent the good people of Anoto Shimili Federal Constituency. I'm from Delta State. I rise to second the motion moved by the House Leader that we do adjourn to tomorrow, 24th of March, 2021. I so second.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it.